Welcome back, folks, to another week of the Tiger Sports Show, where we do a rundown of everything that's going on in Hastings High Athletics. And there's sure a lot going on, isn't there, co-host and little brother Trent Mays?
Yes, there is. Tiger football is beginning the playoffs this week. A little snow on the ground. Made it for an interesting day of practice yesterday. I saw the Tigers got out there today. They just finished up films as I was coming in to get ready for the show.
All right, well, let's talk about the big win last Friday at Grand Island Northwest that set up the Tigers for the run. Tigers are the number 2 seed in the Class B playoffs because of their big win. The Tigers had lost 2 weeks before to Aurora, their first loss of the season, and then had a bye week before they headed over to Grand Island Northwest. What were your impressions just overall of the game, Trent?
It's one of the games for a district title that you want. It was highly contested, a lot of drama, very emotional for the fans, and the Tiger fans took it to a new level. So there was a lot of noise. I'm thinking the Northwest rivalry sort of brought a little of that out, but the students and the parents, especially the parents, they were definitely riled up for most of that second half as the game was tied at half, 7-7. And then the Tigers just kept chugging away and got two big pass play in the third and put it away with 2 runs in the fourth.
Well, let's kind of talk through the game. The Tigers got going first and got on the board 7-0. How did that go on?
BK Braden Calvage did one of his. The guy does not catch a lot of balls, but he averages a lot of yards. He was coming into the game averaging 31 yards a catch, which is just amazing and astounding. He did a great leaping catch going into the end zone on a nice scenic fade pass. It's nice to have a 6-foot guy that can go up and get that. Usually he's been showing off with his feet, but this year he's going up to get the ball. He did one earlier in the game year against Seward. That was 38 yards set up by Beaudreur's big interception on the GI Northwest first drive, and that got the Tigers moving in the right direction.
All right, so the Tigers are up 7-0. The Vikings respond, a top 10 football team. They come back. They tie it at 7 for the first quarter, and then it was a lot about defense through the rest of the first half.
Yeah, the Tigers got some turnovers. The Vikes had 3 in the first half, got them down inside the 10-yard line. You got to cash those in. You got to cash turnovers in. Missed a field goal right before half, so it's 7-7 going into the break. But the Tigers feel good. They're playing really great defense. Offense just got to start punching those scores in following the turnovers. And the defense just played great. And we'll talk about that a little bit more at the end and highlight one young man who played awesome.
Well, it was a little bit of a mixed bag. You're right. The defense made some big stops, got the ball back to the offense, put them in some positions, and they just didn't quite get it in the end zone. Then we come back from halftime, and Northwest heads straight down the field and puts the football in the end zone.
Yeah, they get up 13-7. Missed the extra point. Their All-American kicker sort of shanked one to the right. But the Tigers' high-powered offense showed up. They've been leaning on the run game to start with. Zaid Widener had a great first half, almost 77 yards, which has been awesome. The last 4 weeks, the Tigers have really cranked up that run game. And Coach Shue said in the post-game comments in the paper or on the radio that our run game set up our pass this week, which was great to see. Little Shue gets loose. We're going to look at a highlight in a little bit. A little Shue gets loose for 80 yards on a seam route. Pretty much just twisted a guy into the ground, spun him in the ground like a top. And you're going to want to see that one. So the Tigers are up 14-13 late in the third quarter.
All right. That big 80-yard reception put the Tigers ahead to stay. 14-13. Then they come back, get a stop on Northwest, and then the kicking game comes through for us.
Yeah, the Tigers get it down to first and goal at the 3. Had trouble scoring, a little controversy. Tiger fans thought Little Shoe scored. Refs saw it a different way. We got to boot the field goal. Then at the end of the third quarter, Briar Menke steps up again with the big boot and got it to 4. We led 4 by 4, 17-13 at the end of the third quarter.
All right, then. So up 4, coming back in the third quarter again, the defense gets a stop, puts the ball back in QB1's hands, and what does he do with it?
Well, Jet Samuelson, I don't know how to call him Jarrett. Jet Samuelson, huge fumble recovery. The Tigers end up with 5 turnovers in the game total, 2 picks and 3 fumbles recoveries.
Takeaways, right?
Takeaways, yeah. So they did an awesome job there. We set up Sinek's run. It's a pass play that we're going to see later. He rolls out to the left and there's nobody open. He's got pressure coming, breaks the tackle of 4 defensive linemen just past the line of scrimmage, and then probably outraced their best 3 defenders the final 10 yards to the end zone for a 27-yard score. And now the Tigers lead 23-13. We're feeling a little good, but there's still 9 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, Northwest comes back and puts it right in the end zone. Again, misses the extra point, but now it's 23-19.
Yeah.
And this game is going to come down to the end. Tell us about the end.
Last drive, Tigers just stepped up. They were they looked like they were buried in their own end. They were going to have to punt. Gareth Jones, another one of his great spectacular catches, doesn't get as much publicity as the other receivers do, but that guy is tough as nails. Gets hurt on the play. It's a big third down catch, 3rd and 16. Jarrett gets another big first down on a zone read. Zone read's playing huge in that fourth quarter. Zaid, they fake the zone read, give it to Zaid straight. Zaid gets a big run, Zaid Widener. They slip in Little Shoe on a jet sweep reverse. Totally caught Northwest off guard. Tigers are dealing. That sets up QB1, Johnny Utah, whatever we're going to call him. He ran like a man in the fourth quarter. And he gets in for 27 yards. Oh, that's the 28.
Most of that drive.
Yeah, yep, we're going to see most of that. That was a man drive. What? Oh.
Let's go to the highlights, and you can show people.
Yeah, we'll go to those now. So the first thing, the bus, Landon Jacobus, who we're going to highlight later, with just a great play to start off the game. Bo Dreer with a pick in the end zone. Like you said, it seemed like it was a punt. Bo Dreer's going to do Dreer-like things and get it back. Zaid Widener spins and flies upfield for a big gain for the Tigers. And this is BK's catch. BK flies to the end zone, a little leaping grab for the score. There's Landon Jacobus again. He declared that bus stop was closed on his side of the field. Little Shoe's going to do some slipping and some running there. They obviously tried to pay attention to Little Shoe most of the night. That's Zaid's on another big run. Zaid stepped up. We're without Sully Sullivan that game, so Zaid had to take a lot of the running game on his shoulders. And there's a run by QB1 doing his best Tommy Frazier impersonation. A little flat route to Shoe. He gets down. Garrett, that's Jet Samuelson, maybe Kiker with a big play. And here comes Little Shoe's touchdown pass. Woo! Oh, no, that wasn't that. That was Zaid. Man, I got excited for nothing. Another great play by the Tiger D. There's Zaid running through guys and flipping over him. That's what Zaid Widener does. Big clock,
Just not a
big.
lot of room for the Grand Island Northwest running game.
No, they did a good job of sealing. Here's Little Shoe. If we would have ran him back, he spun him around in the top, and you're not going to catch Little Shoe in a foot race as he gets to the land of 6 for a huge score for the Tigers. There's another look at it. He just spins him around like a top, and Little Shoe is gone. And then that was a big score. There was 6 minutes left in the third. It gets the Tigers up 20-7. Another big play by the Tiger defense. Tigers' great defensive run defense on the outside. Zaid Widener looking like Larry Zonka. Old time football reference there. Not sure who that was. And then here's big Briar Minke's big field goal kick at the end of the third. That ended up being a huge score for the Tigers. Tiger defense playing with a ton of confidence and emotion. Here's QB1's big run to get a first down. That was huge right there. This is the play where he's going to score. He breaks four defenders. He breaks 4 defenders near the line of scrimmage, doing Tommy Frazier-like things. We flip to the other play there, and that was just a great run by Jarrett. Tiger D clamps down on him. Big Lucas Kolacic with the big tackle there in the backfield. This is the big catch by Gareth Jones to set up the final drive. This is on the final drive. Zaid rips off a big run right after that. Keeps us moving down the field. And here's the game winner right here. Again, doing Tommy Frazier-like things. QB1 stepped up, put the team on his back at the end, and it was huge. Just huge runs by Jarrett. BK is going to put this one away. Braden Calvage with the big interception at the goal line. The Tiger sideline was going nuts. We thought he was going to score for a 100-yard touchdown, which would have broke a school record of 98 yards that we set in the first game. So we were going nuts at the end of the game.
All right,
and we're moving on to the playoffs.
All right. Well, we'll get to the playoffs a little later, and we'll let people on the show watch the whole game when we post this later on the internet. It won't be on the live show. We'll watch that entire ball game. But just a great win for the Tigers, getting them back on the winning track, and excited for playoff time. There's a little bounce in everybody's step around school today, getting ready to go. The Tigers get the number 2 seed in the playoffs. You got your official playoff gear on?
Oh, yeah, they were handing that out. People were lined up outside Mrs. Douglas's office. There was a big line after school. So we talked about kicking that door into the playoffs. They did just that. We're going to host Roncalli Friday as the 2 seed, which is good to get the game at home. We want to get that excited crowd back to over at the college and get Lloyd Wilson rocking. Making sure you wear your mask and stay socially distanced as you can. And good night for Tiger football. The weather is going to be great.
And as long as the Tigers can keep on winning and the seeds hold, that there's no upsets, the Tigers could be at home for a few games. You know, as we look at the bracket here, we see Omaha Skutt and Northwest will be waiting for the winner of Hastings Roncalli. That'd be a big game either way. That would either be Skutt traveling to Hastings or Hastings going right back to Grand Island Northwest. And then we see on the other side of that bracket, Waverly. We see Elkhorn High. There's going to be a big game. That would, of course, be a state semifinal game. Hastings hasn't played in a state semifinal since 97 or 01, Trent?
2000 at South Bluff in the Blizzard game.
Well, we're going to talk about snow a little bit later, but let's talk freshman football quick. I know you went out to watch the Frosh.
At the end of the show end of the show last week, went out to watch the Tigers versus the Tiger Frosh versus Columbus. Coach Ordergan, and Coach Vetter do a great job with those young men. They had a pretty good roster. Columbus was by far the best team they played. Tigers led 7-6 at halftime, then put the game away in the second half. They're led by Carlos Espino and Naz Robinson, two-headed monster in the backfield. Some illness forced the Tigers to go to a run game the second half of the season, and Coach O said it paid off. It was perfect. You like to throw the ball, but you want to run. Tiger Frosh have a good big line. They have 7 kids over 200 pounds and 5 over 230, including 257, 280, and 300. So some big boys on the Frosh team. We just have to keep them all together. So they finished 8-2, lost to GI Central Catholic JVs, and then York was the other one, and York finished undefeated. So, and the York game was really close. It was a one-score game. So.
All right. Well, big things coming in the Tiger program. Obviously, we've got some great players now, and I'm sure as high as they can set the bar this year, those young guys will want to get to work and do more. We've got an update real quick. The Tiger volleyball team's up 12-3 in the first set against McCook. It's first round of sub-districts. We'll be doing a live look-in on that game in just a little bit. I don't know. Can we pull that right up now?
There we go.
Yeah, we're trying to get in there.
Wait.
There we are. The Tigers are in white. Tigers are in their new white unis. Yeah, can't quite read that scoreboard, but we got a rally going here. That might have been Charlie Coyle at the net there. Looks like McCook blocked it. All right, it's not doing us any good looking in. We're bad mojo. All right, we'll get updates from that game as we go. But let's. I got a little maybe painful news for you though, Trent.
What's that?
Well, I know how you were talking about how Friday night was the kind of game you need to win a district championship, but I don't think the NSAA agreed. The little math problem we were talking about last week, where Northwest didn't play York, and so the district is not a 3-way tie. If it was a 3-way tie, Hastings would win on the third tiebreaker, which is overall record. Yeah. The NSAA is going to consider it a 2-way tie. Your Aurora and Hastings are both 3-1. Northwest is 2-1. A 2-way tie is broken by the head-to-head, and of course, the Huskies are the only team to beat the Tigers. I think the district plaque is going to Aurora.
We'll just go make a new one.
It's sure been a district championship type year. Well, we've had some other great teams though this year, and one of them finished up their season. The boys cross country team over at the state meet at Kearney Country Club last Friday. I got a chance to go over there. Always one of my favorite state competitions in the state of Nebraska. The volleyball girls up 16-4, so things are looking good there. We'll get back to them in a minute. Cross country finished 5th as a team, just in a razor close race. They were only 8 points away from being the state runners up. So they were right in the thick of things in the state Class B, like we had hoped they would be all year. But really, districts and state were the first time the Tigers were healthy. Can we go to those cross country highlights and take a look at how things looked over in Kearney? Little colder than it's been some years. I tell you, my social distancing mask came in handy. It kept me warm over there. I heard some people say the same thing about the football game Friday night. But there go the Tiger boys. They were led, as they have been since he came back from injury, by Jaden Welsh. The senior finished 4th. You can see him here with the lead pack. That's at the mile mark. He's got the gloves on. He's working hard there. Then there's Johnny Lopez was the second Tiger runner. He's going to end up 12th for the Tigers. Landon Eckhart, you saw go by there. He was in the top 20. And then Matt Oshner finished out the scoring. Kevin Vong and Vinny Condre also had a great run for the Tigers, who finished 5th. We'll see a few more highlights. Again, just a beautiful day over at the Kearney cross country meet. And here's the medal ceremony. They did it out at the country club. That's unusual. They usually do it at the Kearney State Arena. There's Jaden getting his 4th place medal. That's his 3rd medal in the last 3 years, which makes him one of the most decorated cross-country runners in Hastings High history. Here's Johnny getting his 12th place medal. The Tigers medaled 2 people for the first time since the late 90s when Jeremiah Leopard was running wild for the Tigers, also a 3-time medal winner. So a great day. There's Johnny getting a little love from the press contingent, and there are the Tigers. So a great year for the Tigers. The girls did not run over at the Kearney Country Club. Injuries took down defending state champion Chelsea Espinoza. Chelsea was over there rooting the boys on. I know it was a tough day for her, but she's a great competitor. And of course, we'll see these boys in the distance events next spring at state track. And I'm sure we'll see Chelsea running for the Tigers in the spring too. We got to find a way to keep the Tiger Sports Show going all the way through the spring, don't you think, Trent?
Oh, we'll try. I think we should. It's a lot of fun.
All right. Well, next we're ready to go back to that live look in to volleyball. The volleyball team is in their first postseason game.
Hey,
it is
scoreboard better.
Yeah. The Tigers up in the first set, 21 to 7. They McCook we beat earlier at home, but it was a 5-set, really close match. So this is exciting. Tigers coming out. Of course, they want to be playing their best ball at this time of the year. Here's the postseason setup. Lexington has already won in this sub-district as the number 1 seed. They're the host. Tigers have not yet played Lexington. So if things keep going on the track they're on here, and hopefully we'll see the Tigers take the first set here. The Tigers would play Lexington tomorrow, and the winner of that goes into a district final. But either way, both teams will probably be in a district final. Let's stay with the live feed here as the Tigers pick up another point to go to 23 to 7. The Lexington scoreboard, I think the lights sometimes cycle right with the video, and so we can't always see the numbers. 23.
So 2 points away. To 1 point away.
There we go. Now we're 1 point away.
Set point.
I'm glad to see the Tigers wearing their new white uniforms. You know, I hate it when volleyball teams come out and play a black on black game. They just shouldn't do that.
Set. Get a block.
All right. We're safe with the serve.
How did we touch? Nope. There's the point. Tigers win 25 to 7. Great start by the volleyball.
All right. Yeah, a great start. We'll try to look in maybe once more before the end of the show here, but let's talk district situation a little bit. Volleyball is somewhere around the 12-13 spot in the state, and that means a district final, win or lose tomorrow. Win or lose tomorrow against Lex. In fact, win or lose tonight against McCook. The girls will still be in a district final on Saturday, the new goofy Nebraska postseason setup. They'll be on the road, and you're probably looking at somebody in that Aurora, Waverly, Ashland, Greenwood, Elkhorn range. Trent, you got a preference of those teams?
I'd like them to play close for the fans. That district to the east of us, Aurora, York, and Northwest are 6, 7, and 8. So they're very tight. They're all 3 rated.
Yeah, so anything could happen there. I got to tell you, I'm kind of leaning toward Ashland Greenwood, just because that's a team that plays in the Capital Conference. Yeah. That means they're seeing a lot of Class C volleyball. I'm sure they're a very good team. I know they have a straight sets win over Seward, who beat us. So I'm not pointing at any kind of easy win, but I kind of wonder if you couldn't get an Ashland Greenwood team in a Class B district final. On the road even, and maybe get after them a little bit. I know the Tigers would love to get back to the state tournament. They're trying to be the first team ever in Hastings High history to make back-to-back state volleyball tournaments. So exciting times for the girl. All right, it's time to talk about snow, Trent. You said you wanted to talk about snow.
Well,
because we got snow this week, late October.
Yeah. Snow in October is a little rare. Tigers have had 2 of those in the past. 91, we're going to see some highlights soon. This game was actually, they postponed Halloween back in 1991. This is the Tigers versus Columbus, probably on November 2nd or 3rd, which is probably the first November football game Hastings High's played in a long time, maybe back to the 60s and 70s and 50s. You can see the piles of snow in the end zone. Hastings area just got blanketed by snow in 2001. This is girls reserve coach Mike Simmons doing the punting, old Mr. Cheddar, for the Tigers. And you can see the visiting bleachers aren't even being used. Looks like there's still a few snowdrifts over there. 97, there was also another blizzard that hit central Nebraska. Hastings High was getting ready for the playoffs that year. There was over a foot of snow, almost 15 inches fell in the Hastings area on October 26, 1997. The Tiger dads, they had to adjust the playoffs that year. The Tigers were supposed to host at home at legendary H. Jones Stadium, but they had to move the game to Holdridge, which ends up helping the Tigers down the road get a big quarterfinal game with Shattern on a Monday afternoon when it was bone-chilling cold, like 1 o'clock start. It was awesome. Tom Chick, Pat Trader, Bo Binkowski, and all the 1,000-yard backs. Biggest thing there to get ready for the Holdridge game, the Tiger dads had to go out, use snow blowers to cut a field out, to carve a field, a practice area by the shed in the north part of the practice area. So a little Tiger snow trivia there for you.
Yeah. It always takes a community to get things done. That 91 game, that was a young Bo Butenbeck completing that last pass we saw. That was a young team.
Yeah, they went 0-9 that year.
Didn't do so well. They went 0-9. Yeah, that game was only played because Columbus needed the game to qualify for the playoffs. We played it on a Monday. I remember I was teaching at the junior high. They wouldn't let me out of school. Mr. Schneider and I were listening to the game in our classrooms when we could get a chance. But, of course, those young guys playing in 91 set things up for great things 2 years later when they won the state championship.
Maybe
that might some great snow memories. Now,
that might appear in our history segment maybe down the road. That might be something to feature because that playoff run would be starting, well, I can't count 27 years ago next week. So that might be something to look at down the road, go down memory lane. We got a big Tiger playoff game coming up Friday at Lloyd Wilson Field. The place will be rocking. They'll probably have the jump around music going on, hopefully, if we keep scoring touchdowns. What are your thoughts on that, Coach?
Well, I don't know. Playoff football is exciting. Roncalli's a new opponent. Tigers have never played Roncalli. I went digging around to see if we had. No, we have played Omaha Scud a couple times as far as Omaha private schools. Went 1-1 in the early part of the century, this century, the 2000s against them. We played 2 games against Omaha Gross in the late 90s, which I didn't remember, right before the state took over scheduling.
Yeah, about 96, 97, and 95 era. Roncalli you're going to see a balanced football team from Roncalli. They can run and pass. They're going to try to spread you out in the pistol. QB's going to be away. I watched him throw a halfback pass back to the quarterback against Bennington for a 69-yard pass. Tiger fans expect a fight. They're not coming here for a field trip. This is playoff football. They're driving 3 hours. They want to win a playoff game. The Tigers need to take care of business. Their 3-6 record may be deceiving, but 5 of their losses are to play almost teams in the playoffs. I guess I should have looked at that. They have 34 wins out of those 5 teams, and that's pretty impressive. I just don't think they've seen the speed that we have. And I think speed and your old adage about size and speed is tough to prepare for. Our speed seems to give us a little bonus at the beginning of games, like with the BK big catch against Northwest. We've had those big plays early on. The Tigers need to get off to a good start. Last year's playoff game give you evidence of that. We got into a Donnybrook with McCook. But then the Tigers got lightning in a bottle, took off for 35 straight points, and it was hard to 35 points in like 3 minutes. Take care of business. On defense, they need to cause some turnovers. They've been doing that lately. Their senior leadership on defense of Landon Jacobus, Zade Widener, and the youngster Jet Samuelson and Bo Dreer, and then Big Lucas up the middle. They moved Kiker down to nose guard, I just noticed. He's been running a little nose guard for him when they're going into passing situations. I think that's a great wrinkle the coaches have put in. Big game for the Tiger linebackers. They're going to try to run off tackle on us, led by our favorite linebacker,
Blake Davis.
Blake Davis. I think this is a big Blake Davis game. This is where Blake needs to get going.
All right. Well, good to have Blake back the other night. I know he was just playing on the defensive side as he kind of rehabs that shoulder, but a tough kid and getting after things. Those Ron Colley losses this year: Omaha Skutt, Elkhorn, Norris, Blair, Bennington. Those are some of the best teams in Class B. Now, they also have a loss to 4-5 Omaha Gross. Probably a little bit of rivalry game there. Southside Catholics versus Northside Catholics. So maybe you throw out the scoreboard in that in Omaha. I don't know exactly. But this is a solid football team. Now, this is a football team that doesn't have Jack Dotzler, who last year led them to the state semifinals.
Yeah.
And of course, we saw him at state basketball.
Yeah, we played Ron Colley last spring. Just got to get off to a good start. We need to try to get some points early and just get the mojo flowing. We're healthier than we have been in weeks. Justin Musgrave came back, got the center position solidified, and then they got their emotional leader, Big Blake Davis, back on the defensive side of the ball, and hope maybe he can play a little offensive line this week. We just don't know. That just shows how deep we are up front, that we can just have Blake play defense and still have Aspergen come in, and Ground has played really well on the offensive line. And Tigers just need to go take care of business.
All right. Well, we need to take care of a little business here. I'm the girls basketball coach, and we're selling some Tiger gear, and maybe you didn't get a cool new playoff sweatshirt like Trend there. And so you want to support the Hastings Tigers and get some cool new Hastings basketball gear before the basketball season gets going here in a few weeks. You can go to fancloth.shop/ZQMZJ. You can see it right on the screen there. My Twitter feed, the Hastings Tigers Twitter feed, the Hastings Tiger Facebook will all lead you to that too. Got some great stuff, and that stuff will be delivered straight to you. So there's no worries about getting things before Christmas. So support the Tigers there. Trent, have you looked over that catalog yet?
I have, but there's not a lot of big stuff, my friend.
All right. Well, I'll study that a little bit. Maybe we can get something for you. All right. Not live, but those of you who are watching this later are going to get a chance to look at the full Grand Island Northwest Hastings High film. We'll post that pretty soon. Oh, hold it. Maybe we better look in on volleyball quick.
I think we
How's
should.
things going there?
We should be up 12 to 13-6, so that's a great start by the second set by the ladies. Keep fighting strong against McCook.
Of course, that'll be a best of 5, so the girls are going to have to win 3 sets to win this. But, it's one of the disadvantages of being the 2 seed to have to play the late game. Be great for the Tigers to just take care of business. So, all right, you see across the bottom there that you can get that live stream to the Tiger Volleyball girls battling McCook in Lexington. You can get that live stream link on our Facebook page or on Hastings Tigers Twitter at Hastings Tigers. All right. With that, I think we'll go to the film of the Tiger boys' big win on the football field last Friday night over at Grand Island Northwest. Trent, you got any last words?
I just say go Tigers. Let's get a great rocking crowd out there Friday. Socially distance, of course. Wear your mask as part of the stadium rules, and go Tigers, and let's go get that W and move on to the second round.
Go Tigers.